Hey guys, welcome back to the Sniper and Chronicles. We're coming back at you today with another Ratchet video. So, yeah, I picked up this Ratchet. Supposedly it wasn't working correctly. It's a snap-on, and it's a 1/4 inch model. But before we jump into all that, if you can do me a favor and give me a like, and also subscribe to this channel if you find any of this at all entertaining or helpful. And also, if you're looking for any particular ratchets, your best bet will be to go to my playlist on my channel. Go to playlist, and there they'll be listed by manufacturers. So probably a lot easier to find there than to just start scrolling through a bunch of videos. Okay, yeah, this is a snap-on. This is the TM70B, made in USA. We come up here and we see the date code there between the on and the off. And the date code is a backwards 9. So the backward numbers were in the 70s, so this is a 79. In pretty good shape for a Ratchet that's been kicking around for almost 45 years. It looks, the chrome and everything looks pretty new. Doesn't look like it's been used at all or abused. So that's why when they said it wasn't operating correctly, I probably figured it was dirty on the inside or just needed some lubricant. And that's what it turned out to be. I squirted a little bit of WD-40 and it works perfect now. Before it was like sticking and skipping, but the little bit of lubricant fixed it all up, so now it's good to go. And just to look at the handle, it's kind of hard to date these sometimes if they don't have the date or you're not familiar with dates, because it seems like Snap-on has been making the same style ratchet for since the 30s or 40s up until, like, I guess not too long ago, because I've seen these that have been pretty old and some that I have not so old, and they're pretty much the same shape and mechanism and everything. So they this style of ratchet, the mechanism has lasted a long time. Let's open it up and see what we have. It has 2 slotted screws. This is what they look like. There's no Loctite or anything like that. Here's the other screw. And not much to see. And flip it over and pull on the anvil, and the plate pops out. It's a little bit wet. I put the WD-40 in it, so I guess some of the parts are still wet. This is what the plate looks like. The plate is typical for Snap-on. It's pretty thick, as you can see. There. It has a hole in the middle for the pawl that protrudes a little bit out. And here is the gear. Let me wipe this off real quick, just so I can show you and not make a mess. Here's the gear. I think there's 20, maybe 20 something teeth on this gear. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, maybe like 22 teeth on this. So this is pretty coarse. There is the ball detent. Looks a little bit off center there, but still functions. Here's the back. Here are the teeth. This, like I said, this doesn't look like it's seen much of any use. So, like I said, when they said it was not operating correctly, you know, from the outside it looked good. I was not sure what I'd find inside, but yeah, it was perfect inside. That's that. And here is inside the mechanism, and there is the pawl. The pawl is a batwing style pawl. Has one tooth. That's it, and it's pretty coarse. So 1 tooth, 1/4 inch ratchet. Yeah, it's pretty durable, I would say. I'm not taking out the pawl. I'm leaving the pawl in there because it's pinned onto the switch. The switch has a pin that goes through it, and it goes through the pawl, and you pin it there at the end, and that's what keeps the switch in place. Yeah, and underneath the pawl, you can see there as I'm switching, there's a ball and also a spring underneath, very typical of this design, and the inside looks pretty good. Like I said, this doesn't look like it got much use, but on the flip side, didn't look like it was taken care of at all. You know, that's why it was inoperable, supposedly, or was having problems operating. Just needed a little bit of lubricant. It was dry. It was clean like this. Everything was clean, but very dry. So maybe that's what was keeping it from operating correctly. And that's how that looks. On this side, there's a little bit what I call pebbling in there, maybe slightly. There's the on, and on the right is the off, and usually in the middle is the date code, which we said was 1979. So as I mentioned again, for 79, something this old, it looks pretty nice shape. And yeah, that's about it. This is pretty simple design. To get this back together, you would just pop in the gear here, and here's a look at it while it's ratcheting. Yeah, very coarse. Not too many teeth there. And you take your plate. I usually put the plate on the way I took it off. The way you can tell is that you see lines, usually on the inside, from the gear and where it's rubbing, and the outside won't have those lines. And put it there, and you take your screws, and you just tighten those. I wouldn't tighten these very tight. These screws, look at those threads. They're tiny, and they don't look very pronounced. So I would be careful with these screws. If you want to keep them, I'm sure that if you had one of these and it's in bad shape, I'm pretty sure that you could find a repair kit from Snap-on. I'm sure. I'm not 100% positive, but I would imagine they still have repair kits for these, since this design, like I said, was used for decades. So probably they have the same repair kit will probably fit a few models of this design from a few decades in the production run of this style of ratchet. So yeah, that's what I got recently. This is the TM70B. snap-on ratchet from the USA, and it's the 1/4 inch small little ratchet. Oh, and let me take a quick measurement here. This is 4 3/8 long, so kind of on the small side for a ratchet, a modern ratchet, because they tended to have grown throughout the decades. So now usually you see a 1/4 inch, and they'll be around over 5 inches now. Before, some of the older ones, they'll be in the 4 inch range. Okay guys, that's all I got for this week, or for this video I should say. Alright, till next time.